Started. Okay, I'm gonna spotlight and okay, welcome to Get Your Year in Gear 2025. My name is Dawn Otten-Sweeney, and I am here with my friend, National Sales Director Laura McKeever,
Yeah.
who I met years ago when she was a director. And I had a director at her studio in Pennsylvania. And so I've watched her go from director to trip director to national sales director. And that is one of my favorite parts of this business is this, you get to, first it's you growing up in it and moving up in it. But then on the other side, it's watching, and that's the best part, watching other women and the impact on them. So this is an hour, and I call it a working workshop because this is not for entertainment. We are not entertainers. We are coaches at a high level. Like we are NFL coaches. So we are talking to you, whether you're brand new or you're very seasoned, like we would that you were NFL players or NHL players, like the top level. We're not talking to T-ball players because you're not. You are women that have done amazing things in your life. You have done far harder things than build a Mary Kay business, I guarantee you. And so I want you to have pen and paper. And the goal is that by the end of this, you have a game plan. You don't have to call your director to get a game plan. Like you have a game plan for your January to get started. And then maybe also a glimpse of maybe God opens up a little curtain and shows you, ooh, like I want to go to leadership. I want to be a national sales director. I want to be a red jacket. I want to earn a car. I want to earn a ring at seminar. So be open for that also, and that will be different for everyone. So Laura, what would you like to say in greeting? And also, as we start a new year, and in Mary Kay, we get 2 new years. January 1st and July 1st. And so we're very fortunate in that. But how do you get jump started? How do you get back on track? Because we just had the holidays, but we all throughout our business are going to have life. We're going to have transitions. We're going to have times that are more challenging than others, more distracting than others. So welcome them, but also share when you need to get back on track and get back in the game. What do you do?
Okay. Well, first, I'm so excited to partner with you, Dawn. I love you, love you, love you. And I love your faith. I love your always positive. You are totally a company person. And I just love to surround myself around people like you. So thank you for asking me to do this and being the brainchild behind it. So everyone give Dawn a round of applause. Yay!
Thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome. Well, I want to start first with a verse, and it's Matthew 21:22. And it's if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. And so every day I pray, and I say be careful of your prayer sometimes what you ask for, because every day I pray, Lord, bring the people into my life that you want to use them to be a blessing to me, but also bring the people into my life that you want to work through me. And so the reason I say be careful of that is because, boy, that's a responsibility, isn't it? And, being in business is a responsibility, just saying yes to business, because you are entrusting what, God, especially if you are a believer. And I hope that all of you are believers. I don't know where I would be if I didn't throughout my 31-year career so far. I started when I was 21. Wasn't able to partner and walk side by side with God. Because I'm going to tell you, if you're looking for the easy, it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Getting to national sales director, not everybody does it. Why is that? Because it's not easy getting there. But what you have to do is you have to look at it as a challenge. You have to look at it as a calling that, you know what? God's the one that signed me up for this. He did. He actually did. Because I guarantee you someone was praying for you. If you're in my national area, if you're in Dawn's national area, we prayed for you. And God brought you to us or brought us to you. There are a lot of people in my area that I am better because of them, what I learned through them, who they are, their strong faith, their mindset, those things. But I also know that they've learned through me too, and vice versa. So that's the first thing that I want to say to you, that if you don't believe, if you don't have God as your partner, ask Dawn and I. We do. And it is so much easier when you do, because you look at no's and disappointment totally differently. Like when I get a no or a disappointment, I look at that as God protecting me from something, not as a disappointment to me that they don't like me. No, that is God protecting me. When I get a yes, I look at that as, wow, God entrusted this person to me. So I better stay committed. But today, Dawn, looking forward to that, like look forward to a date. All of you are on here because I have a feeling, I love that Dawn called it get your year in gear, right? This is the day that you're saying, I am going to recommit, right? Or I'm at least going to get back into this. Some of you are on here, maybe just you were a personal use consultant and you saw this advertised and you're thinking, maybe I want to consider doing that again. I do need another stream of income back into my life. Maybe you're not fully committed yet, but I say to you, why not commit? I want to read a definition of commitment. My short definition of commitment is really doing things when you don't feel like it, right? What helps you do that? Hopefully today this will help. If not, in the next couple of weeks, as we move into the Boss Babe series and you're working with your national or your sales director, you will, through communication and through coaching and connecting, you will hopefully figure out how to work out a discipline, not emotion, all those things. But here, I like to chat GBT or Google things, right? And if you didn't find something today and you're like, oh, I expected to learn emotional management, just chat GBT it in the Mary Kay style. Like it gives you. But here's the commitment. It says commitment refers to the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, or relationship. It involves a firm intention. I love the word intention, but firm intention to carry out promises, duties, or obligations, often requiring personal sacrifice or perseverance. Commitment can manifest in various aspects of life, including personal, relationships, work, and social responsibilities, indicating a willingness to invest time, effort, and resources toward achieving specific goals or supporting others. Now, that's a big definition of commitment, but I would say it's little micro commitments that helps lead to the bigger cause, the bigger commitment, right? So today, you already won because you showed up or you're listening to this playback. And so it's not perfect. I love, Dawn, that you shared with me in a Voxer recording. It's not perfection, it's progress. You are already in progress, in motion. So remember, the micro moves, what you learned today, and you're going to learn beyond this, just do something to keep moving.
Yep. And something quickly. Like after you're at an event, I heard at a leadership conference one time that what you do in the next 72 hours makes the difference of you being in the same place 5 years from now or in a different place.
Yes.
After 72 hours, the impact is going to be gone because you're going to be, back. Like the centrifugal force pulls you back to where you're at right now. Like we have to continue to take steps to move forward and to make progress.
Yeah.
So what you do today, if you're with your directors, let her know what your plans are. Let her know, and it could be just for this week. It could be just for this month. In Mary Kay, we have a mid-year. You have a career conference goals to plot out. Then you have seminar goals, but then all of 2025 too. So let her know that, because then she can make sure that the time you're willing to invest is congruent with the result you desire, and give her permission when she sees you going off track. Yes. And that's what a coach does. As far as jumping back into the game, I usually need to take a walk. I need to physically, because a walk or exercise gets stuff out, and then I have to put other stuff in. And so usually it's going to be a podcast and a sermon. And
Yes.
so you can go on to my YouTube, not my YouTube, my Facebook business page. So I don't have any friends. Don't be offended. Don't ask to be my friend and say, she didn't friend me. I have 0 friends. I have a business page. You have to go on it to see what I'm thinking, doing, recognizing. But I did post, it was in the beginning of January, a John Maxwell, his top leadership lessons, 30-minute message, phenomenal. That got me on track business-wise. And then there was a sermon that another national gave to me, and it's long. It's with Joyce Myers and I think Laura Harper. But I've been walking with it for like 4-hour-long walks, listening to it. But I needed to get like my heart and my head back in line, because at the end of the year and you have to know yourself, you guys. You're an entrepreneur. If you were an employee, a boss would tell you to get in your seat and do this job. They don't care where you're at in your head or your heart. And so that's why, I mean, things get unhealthy and women get autoimmune diseases, et cetera, because we're not dealing with this stuff. So what do you have to do? We're going to give you the how-tos business-wise, but then how do you, if your brain isn't in the game and your heart is in the game, what do you have to start listening to and reading moving forward? So let's start off. We are going to go over book, coach, sell, recruit, because that's the foundation of Mary Kay, regardless if there's a computer in front of you or humans and flesh and blood. And we're going to talk about why winning matters, and also the difference between perfection versus progress. Very different way of making choices, living and working. So Laura, I'm going to mute myself out. So you have, all right, we're supposed to have 10 minutes apiece, but we're a little bit behind. So to stay on track, your book, coach, I mean, just do it as rapidly as you can in less than 10 minutes.
Yep. And just interrupt me. So here, and I want to just add quick to what you said about, I love the podcast, but for me, financial goal, I need a financial goal. So how many of you have a financial goal? I need something to look forward to. I love to travel. If you do follow me, you follow my travels everywhere. That's why one of the reasons I came into Mary Kay. I wanted to travel the world. My goal is to see as many countries as possible. And so, but before that, it may have just been to put food on my table. So what is the financial goal that you need? And what's the activity look like to align? So booking and coaching. Okay. Woo, we can go so many directions with that. So here we are today. We are in January and we need to book, right? I don't know if you have snow blindness, like literally. I know the blizzard's coming, right? But let me just pull up my notes here so I can stay on track with you. But Mary Kay said bookings are the lifeline of your business, right? Your Mary Kay business. And so that's what provides you the opportunity to share all of our amazing products and to connect with people, right? And so this year, you got to commit to increasing your bookings, right? So and don't overwhelm yourself. Like if I mean, I always set 3 types of goals, right? I accept the minimum. There's got to be a baseline, like a minimum goal. Then it's the non-negotiable goal, and then it's got to be that stretch goal, right? So what are your goals for all 3 of those? And so you got to remember that every no does bring you closer to a yes. And we've got to get creative. And I found that the reason why people, as I'm coaching this past week with my consultants and even some of my directors, the reason why people haven't been booking is number 1, poor time management. Like get back to, this isn't a class on weekly plan sheets, but talk to your sales director about the weekly plan sheet. If you've never seen this before, oh my goodness, you got to get back to that. And in your plan sheet, do you have income producing activities in there rather than just creative avoidance? But also with booking, your mindset is everything. Okay. Ask yourself, would it be worth it to give it your all for the next 90 days? Attitude is everything. It's the YOU versus you. It truly is. It's like when you open your eyes in the morning, like, yay, today's going to be a great day. even if you don't feel like it. You've got to say it. You've got to get up. It's that activated force that I believe it's Mel Robbins. I don't know which podcast. Like it's that activated force, that first 5 seconds that you just got to activate without overthinking, where you lose your motivation. You have to set that goal. Like I said earlier, those goals in my national area, and I know in Dawn's, we have tracking sheets for you for your perfect start, your power start. Like in mine, we call it the face race, right? And we attach lead generating to blessings. You're giving out a blessing when you're passing out a goodie bag, or you are at a event, you're asking for referrals. You are giving out blessings, right? And so you have to change your mindset with lead generation as well. But in my national area, you have to track those numbers, right? And I know in Dawn's too, she has those tracking sheets. I tell my people, like your tracking sheet, if I see you out, I know somebody's committed. If their tracking sheet is like, I joke with them, put it like right here. My mom was a waitress. She used to keep her wad of money here. I know that sounds silly, but right there in her bra. But I say, put this tracking sheet next to your heart. When you're out, you're locked and loaded, and you go, oh my gosh, girl, can you help me with this? I'm in this challenge, this face race. I want to win. Will you help me? Even when you're meeting somebody, but attitude is everything. I walked into Panera Bread the other day, and I just in the car said, today's going to be a great day. God's going to bring people into my life that he's going to use me to be a blessing to. And it totally changed me. And I exuded that when I went into Panera, because it drew people to me. I met one of the best people ever that were now friends because of that. And that's how I try to go about my day. I don't always feel like being that, but once you start those little things, it will draw people to you, which will draw bookings to you, which will help you generate leads, right? And then there's the emotional management piece to bookings. You have to learn to pivot, especially like here we are in the wintertime. When there was a snowstorm and everything would cancel, I would be like, okay, all right. And this was before a virtual. You guys can totally turn those parties into a virtual party and do it that way. I did white sales. I, used it as a booking challenge, right? To do my 21-day booking, which we'll talk about in a minute. But emotional management is really key. There's always going to be somebody having a baby, somebody passing away, there's going to be things that are going to happen, and you just have to learn to take the emotional hat off and put the business hat on and move through it, pray through it. Because you know what? If there's a crisis situation and you stop working and stop providing for your family, then you have two crises, right? Okay, so the next is your activity, matching the numbers with your goal. And so bookings, when you're booking, sometimes people say to me, I want to be a DIQ, I want to be a director, I want to be, red jacket, whatever it is. Well, let's look at your date book. Your date book, your bookings have to match the goal. The activity has to match the goal that you have. So talk to your director about that. That's why the weekly plan sheet, time organization is so important, that you, month at a glance, look and see, okay, here's all the time slots in the month that I can book. And it's your goal, your challenge at the beginning of the month to fill all of those. And then when you fill those, to fill them a second time, to double book and triple book, because people, will fool you, but numbers never do. Okay, remember that. Numbers will never fool you. If you work the numbers, it will be great. Okay. And then with bookings, it's all over the follow-up leads, right? Follow up with leads, follow up with booking attempts. There is a 21-day booking strategy. If you have never seen it, it's so important to use this system. It helps you work out of discipline, not emotion. And I'm sure Dawn has it, but if not, I'll send it to her. You can even just Google it. It's not my brainchild. I don't have any ideas I've created myself. I'm just the best copycat. But it talks about, it gives you the numbers. First of all, that 2% of sales happen on the first contact. And I know Dawn's going to talk about sales. But this is also with leads and bookings. This has to do with bookings. 3% happen on the second contact, 4% happen on the third contact, and 10% happen on the fourth contact. But 81% of bookings and sales happen on the fifth contact or after. Are you that committed? And you know what? If you're not committed, the booking system is committed. It works and helps you work out of discipline, not emotions, to take those leads, to put it in a system, to generate those bookings. The goal is to strive that your month, every month, there's a minimum of 30 faces that you're in front of. I, as Dawn, we told you we're gold school. I honestly would prefer that they're in person if possible. And then your virtual is the add-on extra stream of income, but make the main thing, because if Dawn and I were only ever in front of you virtually, it's good, but I guarantee you will be so much more inspired when you see us at leadership and we can have a personal conversation or a retreat. It's the same with your clients. That personal contact, that personal touch, that hug, that feeling of affection is so important to draw people to you and to build solid relationships for life. All right. And let me look, I think my time's up, but real quick with bookings. Number one, theme parties. Oh my goodness, glam nights, spa nights, glitz and glam nights, whatever. People love, encourage them to get dressed up or bring their favorite beauty items. When they can get dressed up and bring an item or have something to look forward to in that way, they're going to show up and they're going to hold if you make it fun. What's your hostess rewards program? Talk to your director about that. If you're not excited about it, you're not going to get anybody else excited about it. Referral incentives. Do you have a good, fabulous referral game or referral incentive? All of my clients know that anytime they refer somebody to me as part of my loyalty program is that they get $15 of free products on their very next order for every friend they introduce to me that doesn't currently have a Mary Kay beauty consultant that places a first order on my website. And she also gets a special discount as well. Social media challenges. Are you using your platforms like Instagram and Facebook to create fun challenges that draw people to you that are related to beauty? Offer prizes through those challenges, even if they're not your clients already. On one of my group, my personal group, I would throw out a prize for everyone who just got their friends on my group. They all go in a drawing for $50 gift certificates. So don't be afraid to get the penny out of the eye to see the dollars. The last couple are pop-up parties. I love to do this to collaborate with local businesses. I have a boutique that I'm collaborating with right now, wellness program that I went through myself, a total clean, whole food wellness program. I'm teaming up in their locations to do pop-up parties with them and to draw all of their clients to me as well, and vice versa. Virtual parties, you know that we know that, online beauty sessions. Collaborating with influencers. Who are the influencers that you know in your life? I have some nieces that have big followings, and so for Christmas, guess what? They got beauty products, but I told them I need you to do a commercial for me on your social media page, right? Seasonal promotions. We're on the precipice. Well, right now it's January. What can you do for January, right? Think of, blizzard sales, those kind of things, fun things. But Valentine's Day is coming up. March, the eyes have it. March Madness, whatever. Think of some fun things to promote and get that worked out now. Beauty workshops. There are, I like to do girls' night out events where we have a little food, and we do charge for it because the food costs. And I found that I had more success on those because I think when people pay for something, they value it more. What? I don't know. But they get Olive Garden meal on for $20. They're not paying for my service, so it's totally legit and legal. Like, I'm free to them because we give complimentary services, Mary Kay. But people are looking for fun things to come out to. So what kind of beauty workshops can you host? And then a loyalty program that will help with bookings as well. Asking your clients, like, who do they know? Those things. So I'm going to wrap up here to let Dawn go and take her time. I have more, but we'll come back to it. Oh,
Is my spotlight still on?
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry.
Is my spotlight still on with you?
It is. It is still
on. Okay. Okay. I could touch on just for like a minute coaching, because coaching I think is something we since the pandemic kind of forgot about. Like,
yes, thank you. I have that in my next portion of my notes. Okay, yeah. So a party worth booking is a party worth coaching, because you can have all the bookings in the world, but if you don't coach them, they're going to fall. it's going to fall through the cracks. So the purpose of coaching is to really connect people to you, right? And to connect the hostess to you. And so you want to make sure that with the hostess that you make it very simple for her, but you also incentivize her, and so your director will work with you on that piece of it as far as coaching and incentivizing. But I like to tell my hostesses that, hey, girl, if you give me the name and cell phone number of each person that you would love to have join you, here, I'm going to help you invite them. And so you just do a little script that you send to her so that she feels comfortable. And so I offer every single person that comes the opportunity that they are going to receive a $10 coupon at their complimentary makeover. It's a value of $100 or more for this opportunity. And if they bring a friend with them, they're going to get to pick from my special magic bonus basket, right? And so that will draw them to you. But what draws people when you're coaching is, like I said earlier, having a theme or telling them. I always ask them a couple of things through coaching. So have you ever heard of pre-profiling? We don't talk about that anymore. Okay. Well, we should. And one of the ways that I like to pre-profile is through the Skin Analyzer app, to have people either do that or to register on your website ahead of time to get a special $10 certificate. That's how they get the $10 at the complimentary makeover, if they register ahead of time. And so I ask them just a couple of simple questions. Number one, have you ever tried Mary Kay before? And you'll hear stories, and sometimes those stories draw you to them, but I want to know if they had a negative, response. And I go, I'm so sorry that you felt that way. And I hope you never feel that way with me, but I'd love to show you Mary Kay the way it truly is supposed to be. And so, but you get a lot of great responses. And so the biggest thing I want to know is, what do they currently use to cleanse and moisturize their face? Don't just say, what do you currently use? Say, to cleanse and moisturize. Because if they only use a brand X lipstick, they're going to say, oh, I use this. No. So ask what they currently cleanse and use to moisturize. I ask them, do they have normal to dry skin or a combination to oily skin? And also what their age range is, if they're willing to give that to me. You don't have to, but you know how you take those little surveys where it gives you between this and this age. I actually have a little profile link that is attached to a Google form that has that piece on it. And it's just simple. Like, don't make a lot of questions because they'll abandon it. It's got to be like 3 questions. And that is one of my questions. And it's because you put a little blurb there that we want to match the skincare appropriate for your age range, right? And so, and then the last question that I have with, and I need to get back to my notes here, with coaching is, so I know. I ask, what color is your eye color and your hair color? And the reason I do that gets women excited about, they're like, why? It's like curiosity kills the cat. What's that for? Well, it's so that I could put her goodie bag together. I let her know I'm making a special customized goodie bag specifically for you. Now, I know the cards are going away for now. I mean, I ordered a gazillion of them because of that, but still ask the question no matter what, because that's setting you up for the second appointment, the follow-up appointment for the glamour. And one of the very last things I say to her, I say, okay, Dawn, I am so excited to meet you. Would you do me a favor? Would you wear the color that you get the most compliments on? And she goes, oh. And there's strategy for that. The first one is, I want her to show up feeling powerful. If she is in her best color, she's feeling powerful and people are complimenting her when she comes in the door. But I have had people buy new tops, new outfits just to come to my parties because of that. It starts then when a woman has something to start shopping for and looking for, they show up more. So that's that. Then after each call, I do what's called cross confirmation with the hostess. Now, occasionally you'll get someone who doesn't connect with you or doesn't want to connect, and it's okay. You know what? Move on, go to the next person. But I always call the hostess and go, oh my gosh, I just talked to your friend Dawn. She's so lovely. She's excited to come to the party, blah, 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 blah. This is what we talked about. And that makes the hostess feel more confident and holding the party. And by the way, she said she's going to bring 1 or 2 of her friends with her that you don't know already, because I do ask them to do that. So that's important. With the hostess and with the guests that the hostess gives you the names of, it's important to swell your numbers, right? And that's how you do it through. If your hostess only gives you 3 names and numbers of people to call, well, guess what? If you even only get a hold of one of them, and that person brings 3 people, and you incentivize her by saying, hey, guess what? I don't do this for everyone, but I like you. I can tell you're a lot of fun. And I'm going to give you $10 of additional free products for each friend that you have joined you that's over the age of 18 and doesn't currently have a Mary Kay beauty consultant. You have to say that, you guys, with the hostess, when you're coaching the hostess, and also when you're coaching to get to swell your numbers with the guest, you have to say that currently do not have a Mary Kay beauty consultant, because what they think is they go, oh, okay, well, who uses Mary Kay that I can invite? Who likes this, right? And so that's what you want to do. What did I miss on with my coaching?
No, I think you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good, because I'm going to head into selling and recruiting. But as far as the color cards being gone, you guys, when I started, we took file cards, and each we'd make the eye looks, you know, for, you can, I mean, do a search for best eye colors for it. Probably the chat GBT just tells you for Mary Kay colors, what's best for green eyes, what's best for blue eyes, what's best for brown eyes, and just tape them on, you know, a little file card. So, or put them in a little cello bag. So this stuff that people get caught up on and distracted by, you guys, like my affirmations include for this year, I am undistractable and unoffendable.
Love it.
Because we've spent a lot of time, our country, in the last 5 years, very offended and very distracted. And it hasn't served any of us very well. And so the weekly plan sheet I wanted to circle around too. You can go on to Mary Kay and Touch, print that off. Mary Kay taught us every Sunday night. You sat down, did your weekly plan sheet. It went up on your refrigerator. So you knew when you were doing your Mary Kay, your family knew when you were doing Mary Kay. So it wasn't like, you know, oh, like, you know, my kids knew. If I had my Monday night success meeting and they forgot to tell me that they had blank, like they were going to have to figure it out. So both my kids are entrepreneurs and can figure it out because I taught them that, because I was taught that through Mary Kay. Also, if you get to a point that your goal seems bigger than the amount of time that you have, you feel like you don't have enough time, use your weekly plan sheet as a time study. So National Sales Director Judy Quickie, who's an Emeriti, she said, take that time study and every 15 minutes, write down what you're doing. And you'll quickly see, she said, do it for a week and then show it to your director. But what I have found is no one takes a week. Everyone that's done it, within a day or two, they're like, I don't even need to talk to you. Like it's right here. I can see. Because if you're doing this for a retail wholesale goal, then the time has to be protected, or it's not a business. It's a hobby. And it's fine. You can do your Mary Kay business as a hobby, but do know that hobbies cost you money. Businesses are supposed to make you money. So that you need to decide, because that determines how you invest your time. Also, too, as Laura was talking, she gave you tons of great ideas, but I want to make sure you're listening to how she thinks and how I think, because the how-tos you can find. I mean, back in the day, my gosh, like we only got how-tos in our newsletter from our director that came once a month. Debbie Moore was my director. I lived across the country from her. I heard from her once a month on the phone. And then you'd go to your 4 events a year, but you would drive far and wide to find a national, and you drive to your success meeting. Mine in Arizona was 3 hours round trip. And so you did those things, but that's everything else in between. You had to use your brain and figure out. And so that's another thing. Like, let's use our brains this year. God gave you brains and strategic ideas. And so you can, at the touch of a button, find so much stuff. And if it's admin stuff, awesome, just do that. You don't have to recreate it. But if you know what needs to happen, like, okay, what am I going to do? Like when I started, I mean, me and my husband were, I mean, we both had college degrees, but we did not have enough money. He was a federal agent making $14,000 a year before taxes. The other federal agents stationed where we were on food stamps if their wife didn't work. And so I quit my job to live in the same state as him. So I had to make money with my Mary Kay because my husband still eats more than $14,000 a year, 38 years later. And we had credit card debt that I had brought into the marriage, and cars and rent, etc. And so when I didn't have anything in my date book, I wasn't calling Debbie in Ohio. I was like, okay, I got to get out of my apartment. Like, no one is coming here and offering to buy product. Like, where am I going to go? Like, I have to get out of here, put my Mary Kay pin on, look great, trying to attract business to you, all the things. But that served me so well because I know I don't need someone telling me what to do. Like, this business is already set up and it works. Like, the dialogue, the script that you got as a new consultant, you don't need another script to book today. Use your perfect start script. And if you're not new, change it to I'm going into a leadership training program. I was just at a workshop with 2 of the top women in Mary Kay, and I need to get 60 women's opinions of the products this month. You change the reason why, everything else stays the same. This is what I have available, blank or blank. Okay, and then you try and turn the facial into a party or clump facials together, depending if you're doing stuff at your house or virtually. Obviously, that's not as much of an issue. You can put tons of people into a Zoom room. But I encourage you, like, you have access to more information. And I see that our sales force is more educated than it's ever been, but doing less than it has.
Right.
And
but Dawn, you are sharing all the old school principles that are so important. Like you said earlier, they're not old school because I just even heard, you know how we used to say, and you alluded into this, is there any reason why? Like that's the correct booking approach. I just heard on a podcast a man say, to ask people, what are the chances to start off every question? Well, we've been doing that for 60 years. Is there any reason why you couldn't fill one of these time slots for me this month? I'm in a challenge to a face race. I want to win. I want to show my national sales director that I can do this. You guys use this event today to say, I've been challenged. I'm challenging them right now to hold if you have never held 10 parties in a month, at least do that. I mean, 10 parties in a week is, we all have the opportunity to do that, especially with doing half virtual and half in person, right? Especially those of you that are looking for a full-time paycheck. And so minimum 10 parties. So for those 10 hostesses, I mean, if you look at the time slots in your weekly plan sheet, you have them. You just have to go out and find them and work with your
10 parties, you guys, is a power start. Let's be clear.
It is.
Like we got to this place where 30 faces was a power start. It is not.
No, 10 parties. And
10 parties. And 50 to 60 faces.
Yep.
Because you guys, when I started, there was 6 mirrors and trays. And so a party was 5 to 6 people. So a perfect start was 25 to 30. When we went down to 4 trays, people start to call a party 3 to 4. Thus a power start 30. And you guys, those of you who have been in long enough, you know that doesn't sustain a car. It doesn't bring a unit. It doesn't give you income to pay bills. It does, especially when you add in virtual, because you have to work with more numbers with virtual because you're not with them in person. So the 10 parties, is it going to be in a month or is it going to be in a week? And if you want to do a 10 party week, we used to get personal notes from Mary Kay. When we did it, Laura and I, for our area, we'll write each other people's notes for your 10 party week.
Oh, totally.
I guarantee you, because that changes everything. A 10 party week.
I used to do 30 faces in a day. Like, and that's what I'm getting back to this month. Like, I could only work Saturdays. Every Saturday, the goal was minimum 3 time slots and trying to load as many people in those time slots. And I mean, we're complicating it.
Yeah, and using the scripts. Right, like people are so independent now. Like I saw this trend, like in the last 10 years. Mary Kay gave you a director national that already knows what to do, and even if you are a Mary Kay national area, you have access to us. Like we never had access to nationals. And so you have the resources to do it. You just have to be willing to use the scripts that work until you're getting company average results. Then wing it. But I see people winging it from the beginning. I know better. I'm doing it my way. And I'm like, all right, I know what's going to happen. It's not good. She said, no one would book. Well, is there any reason why you couldn't help me with this? Very few people say no to that. So when people are getting a lot of no responses, it's because you're asking the wrong question. If you ask the wrong question, you get the wrong answer. So use your script, old school script. It works. And let's talk about selling. So our business was not about selling. Our business was started for the opportunity, and sharing the product was the vehicle to find the women who were supposed to build Mary Kay Cosmetics. Mary Kay started with 9 women and looked for the first 100 out of the most prestigious women as far as character goes in their community. That's how this company started. Do you know who you're looking for? Are you just looking for someone that has $35 for a consultant number and to sell stuff on social media? That's called direct sales. That's not what we do. We're in the direct sales industry, but we teach women how to take care of their skin. Cleanse, exfoliate, tone, moisture balance, protect. You're not just throwing things out there, because I see people selling a lot of stuff, but the most important thing to sell is skincare, because your skincare customers reorder. You have a residual income. It makes a difference in their skin. They build a relationship with you. They stay with you forever. The sustainability of your business is the number of skincare customers you have. And so 100 is the first goal, then 200, then 300. We used to call it Century Club when you got 100 skincare customers. So I encourage you, if you don't yet, when are you going to do that by? The end of 2025? Are you going to do it by June? Are you going to do it by career conference? We have 4 markers a year: career conference, seminar, fall retreat, and then January. So how many skincare customers? Because that determines the faces, and it teaches you, are you teaching skincare? How are you with closing? Are you operating as a business owner versus an order taker? Mary Kay allowed us to keep products on hand. We get to have CDS and drop shipping, but when that becomes your whole business, you're an order taker and you're not making as much money because your costs are far higher. People don't order as regularly from you because they know that you don't have it. And you also put yourself at risk that the company may run out of something because it's supply chain or it's limited edition. That doesn't happen when you're a business owner. And so with selling, is your focus skincare? Like on our agreements, when I signed my agreement, I was signing that I would not break up a skincare set. Legally, the company can't do that any longer. But as a business owner, you can make that a policy. When you're at a party, and whether virtual or in person, and she's saying, I want blah, 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 and it adds up as almost the skincare set or maybe less, just say, you know what, I'm not asking you to spend more money, but would you take that money and put it into your skincare system and try it, use it for a week? And honestly, if you'd prefer to have this other, I'll exchange it out for you, no problem. I've never had anyone exchange it out. Then they want to be a hostess to get the other stuff for free or as a discount. So our skincare sales are the most important thing that you can sell. The business owner versus order taker is something to evaluate, especially if you started this during the pandemic and we were basically all order takers. We got to shift back because most direct selling companies, you're always an order taker. Your customers are always getting drop shipped. And that is not, Mary Kay gave us the 90% buyback policy. Honestly, you guys, that's better. Not 50% profit with 10% risk is better than the education a lot of people are willing to invest in. And then they have a piece of paper and a bunch of debt. Far less risky than buying a house. And it's far more income than the stock market or any savings. 50% profit, 10% risk. Mary Kay has given women an unparalleled opportunity, but our job is to sell products and be in front of people with the product to find the people that are supposed to carry this company on. And if you want to be a director, you need 8 to get in the gate. The company's offering all sorts of incentives and throwing cash at leadership. right now. When I became a director, I got a unit number. I got my Cadillac in 6 months. I got a Cadillac. Now you get $1,000 bonus, $1,000 up to $6,000 bonuses, plus unit club, plus Cadillac. That can make it $8,000 bonuses in your first year as a director. I'm like, you guys are spoiled babies, honestly, from what we had. We've just got what we earned. That was it. But see, the company's throwing cash towards leadership. And that could be a sales director, but you can have 24 people and not be a sales director. Your director's going to take care of them, and you could have $1,000, $2,000, 13% check. That's good extra money, and someone else is training them. So what, are you going to get 24 and they're going to be in your unit, or 24 and you're getting 13% on them? Which is better for you? We were taught to share the product and the opportunity together, but this is an opportunity business backed up by a product versus a product business that has an opportunity. Does that make sense? The people who you think are our competition in direct sales, they're a product business, everyone's personal use. They have very few retail customers. Everyone gets their stuff at cost. And now the sales force is being laid off. They're being bought out by venture capitalists. It is not sustainable. We've lasted for 62 years. We want to keep this going, but Salesforce sharing the opportunity is a necessity of that. Selling skincare customers and having people come into the business through the product. Let's talk about for recruiting. There's a huge difference between marketing and recruiting. Debbie Moore recruited me. She wanted me in this business. She could see I was interested, but I was scared and I had questions that needed to be answered. Marketing is Mrs. Cab, and you think that's an interview. You just threw out information out there. If someone just told me Mrs. Cab, I wouldn't have signed up, because I would have thought my recruiter was a consultant in Debbie Moore's unit that did not need any money. Nancy Murata was an awesome woman, but her husband's dad is Mr. Coffee. Okay? Like their starter home, I thought came from Mary Kay, so God used that very purposefully. It did not. That was old family money. I didn't have any old family money. Like, I needed to figure out how to make money and back up big dreams. But Debbie Moore had to recruit me like I was recruited out of business school. I want you to make a list. Who are you looking for? What are the characteristics that you're looking for so you know her when you find her? And also the 4-point recruiting plan. Circle back around. Go on to Mary Kay in Touch. Do a Google search on the 4-point recruiting plan. Because if you do that with your 10 parties this month, you're going to gold medal. You're going to, because you're doing the numbers, even if your recruiting skills aren't solid yet. The only way they get solid is by doing it. When your director does everything, or it's only done through her events, you never have the confidence. You guys, we're not brain surgeons. You are not telling them anything scary. We've been around for 62 years. We're the #1 selling line of skincare and color in the world. Many of you have gotten human beings out of your body and kept them alive. That is far harder than cleanse, exfoliate, tone, moisture balance, protect. This is what the opportunity is. Is there any reason why you wouldn't want to join me? Worst case, you get your stuff at half off and meet some new friends, have some great skills, and are backed up 90%. What would hold you back from doing it for that reason? You guys don't have to wait for your director to get back from leadership. You can have a gold medal. How fun will that be? As she just sees agreements coming in on the computer. That is so exciting. And if you're out there selling products and you recruit them through selling products, they order products because they want to have products, because they like that they had products. So that's selling. A little thing on recruiting. Pearls of sharing. We talked about Perfect Start, Power Start. So with your Power Start 60 faces, you should have proportionately with 60 faces, you should have at least 6 recruits. And if you don't, you're not doing the 4-point recruiting plan. And if half are not buying skincare sets, we want to evaluate your education and your skincare class on skincare sets. That's a good thermometer to see. Do I need some more skill here? Or do I need a different target market here? So you guys, I believe that, hopefully what we shared with you, that we're just sharing it off the cuff. Like, we didn't have to sit here and say, oh, this is going to take a long time for us to write out, because we've done this 50 million times. And that's the only way you get good at anything, is doing it 50 million times. And it has to be bad before it gets good. My husband's a strength and conditioning coach, and there's some people that are willing to do different exercises or like offset their strength training with yoga because they're bad at it. Well, you're bad at everything until you're good. No one starts off good. And I believe that you are women that you like to be good, but you have to be willing to take a step back to be bad before we can use all that goodness and all those gifts and talents in Mary Kay. All right, so in closing, Laura, for the next 10 minutes, why winning matters, or progress versus perfection? Which one of those do you want to tackle?
Okay, let me talk
And I'll
about
tackle the
progress
other.
versus perfection, because I'm
Okay.
Miss Perfectionistic. And so I used to wait. So right now today we want you to book. We want you to get your date book loaded, like make it a game for yourself, give yourself a reward for getting a certain number of bookings, but get that 21-day booking script, print it out. But it can be as simple as you going and sitting at Panera Bread with your skincare sets in a spray bottle and hand cloths, and having people come time after time after time, meeting you while you're sitting there all day long and getting their opinion. I would think, oh, my product display has to be perfect, and my house has to be clean, and I need to bake cookies, and I need to do this, and they need to have the perfect situation for their house. No, it doesn't have to be. In fact, people don't want that anymore. They want just realness. They want, just easy, simple, meet them. It could be 15-minute intervals that you're, meeting people. Like, don't overcomplicate it. And when we talk about progress, not perfection, I want to go back to the little micro wins that lead to the big wins, right? There's little wins compounded at time after time after time to lead to the big wins. Where it's bad, though, is we say Mary Kay is God first, family second, career third, right? Or if you have a career, then Mary Kay has to be fourth, unfortunately. But it's not 44th or not 33rd. You have to make it a priority every day. What can you do towards your business, income producing type of activities that propel you forward, and celebrate your wins? My goal is just to be better than I was yesterday. I love, Dawn, that you shared about the 15-second increment or 15-minute increments of your day all day long. We have so many time wasters. We have 178 hours in a week. I mean, I guarantee you, if you just cut out Netflix or all the surfing you did on Facebook and time wasters and eliminators for just a period of time, I mean, you would totally soar in this business. And so that goes to, though, your why, your purpose, your passion has to be bigger than yourself. And this is where I'll end. I always have a notebook. I keep this one. This is when I was coming up in the business as a director. Like, it was that stage from director to top director. And my little kids, their faces were in the very center. Everything that I did makes their life better for generational wealth. Someone said to me, you can create a debt or you can create a legacy. And I just looked it up. How much money does it cost for a family of four to maintain just a basic standard of living? It's $95,000 per year. Do you know, in my household, we created that. You can ask my husband. He's a teacher. He was off school. I mean, if you're a teacher, God bless you. But I mean, it's hard to be a teacher these days. But because of our business, he was able to decide to stay home several times when it got too tough. He knew that our income, like yours, Dawn, Mary Kay, was the main source of income. And if it can be for Dawn and I, it can be for you as well. So this is my brain book. This is my physical, it's all of my goals on there. And one of the best things that my director had me do, I know we don't use checks a whole lot anymore, but you know what? Print out a fake check, print it out. And she said, I want you to write the amount that you would like to see consistently in a paycheck 5 years from now. And I kept that check in my checkbook because I would always look at that, but make copies of it, put it everywhere. Do you know, almost to the day, my check was $10,000 as a director, and then was consistent onward from that. Now today, my check minimum 10,000 is just from my offspring. Just in my offspring and my personal unit, not even all the money from my personal business and the extra that's in our paycheck that you guys don't even see a lot of that because it's not reported. They only report and show you in the applause what is in our circles, not what's in our actual paycheck. But you guys have the gift. That's why this is here. We have a gift to offer everyone. You have a gift that God wants to give you on a silver platter for yourself. It's all you versus you, your own mindset, your own attitude, what you're not willing to get over. You guys, if you don't know my story, Google it. It's the Fortney sisters, Fortney. I could have all the excuses under the sun why I don't get out of bed every single day, but I choose to live in my vision, not my reality. And I don't want to just survive in this world and be one of those statistics, the standard living. I want to thrive in 2025. And I hope you do too. And you say, today, I'm getting my butt in gear, right? Getting my butt in gear. And I'm going to stop overcomplicating it. I'm going to extract the people in my life that don't believe in me, or at least just put them on pause for a moment, or speak negativity. My dad was my own negative thinker. You know, it was the corporate mindset versus entrepreneur mindset. I had to love him where he was at and think, you know, he just doesn't get it, but I'm going to get it from the people who get it and hang around them. And I became one of them. So thank you, Dawn, for being one of those people for me, because before I was even a national, you were long before me. And before I was even a top director, you were long before me. You were one of those people that helped me stay focused and work in my progression, not my perfection, and not listen to the naysayers. So love you.
Well, you guys, that's the value of not quitting, because there are people who get it. The majority don't. So change your expectations. You're going to find very few people that think like a successful entrepreneurial Mary Kay leader, because we're not just entrepreneurs, we are leader entrepreneurs, and that's very different. Some entrepreneurs can manage part of their business. We can't. Mary Kay said you lead in 3 ways: by example, by example, by example. This is a unicorn you're looking for. There's not a lot of us, but you know when you find her and you pour yourself into her. And so many people get distracted by the people who don't get it, or the people that are, they may want what Mary Kay has to offer, but they're unwilling to do something different to get something different. And so winning does matter. You're hearing Laura talk about winning. You know, if I hadn't chose to win and I chose to quit when it got hard, and there's going to be valley seasons always in learning, in life. Are you going to quit? I remember Kathy Halou saying, your greatest success is right around the corner. It's always too soon to quit. And I was taught that the only way to fail is to quit, by Debbie Moore. And so when I would get to those points, I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not going to quit, then what am I going to do to make things different? Versus, you know, oh, am I going to send products back? How am I going to tell my director I'm quitting? Like going through the whole scenario. It takes you so much energy to figure out how you're going to quit. Book a party. Mary Kay would tell you, book a party. And once you do your 10 parties and come back and tell me you still want to quit, no one came back to her. Recruit 5 people. All of them aren't going to do stuff, but one will probably have a clue and be encouraging. Your winning matters. I was warm booked in a mall because Debbie Moore was teaching a new consultant to do a perfect start because her warm market wasn't supportive. If she wasn't committed to winning in a perfect start, I wouldn't be in Mary Kay because no one else has warm booked me in 38 years since then. That scares me because this is where my relationship with God came from, is Mary Kay people. So your winning and your perfect start, your power start, your pearls, reaching your goals by career conference, by seminar, by fall retreat, by next leadership. You guys, winning matters. Stop thinking about yourself, how this made me feel, how she quit and that disappointed me. Stop it. Stop it. If Mary Kay would have done that, none of us would be here. Her husband died a week before she started this, and her accountant attorney told her, don't do it. Who cares what anyone else says? Aren't we grateful she proceeded with her dream? You guys know it in your hearts. You know you're supposed to be here and you know why, and it may scare you, but do know that God always provides for what he has called people to do. And you have done far scarier things than you're going to be called to do in this. Winning matters. Your dreams are attached to other women. Whatever that dream is, as a director or consultant, we need you. Mary Kay's legacy and company needs you. One woman can make a difference. Mary Kay's one woman. I mean, she went through her daughter dying. She went through someone stealing her formulas and starting beauty control, and half the sales force went with her. They had to take the company public back, and the family went into tons of debt. Now we have her grandson, who of all the grandsons, Mary Kay wrote in her autobiography, she knew Ryan was supposed to be the guy. You guys, we are in a special time in Mary Kay. Are you going to take the batons we just threw you? We threw you great skill batons, opened up a vision of what leadership looks like in Mary Kay, but let's stop focusing on how scared we are to do this or that, or taking hurts. Let's take our lessons forward in 2025. Take the lessons forward, leave the emotions behind. And you start off with that script like you're a brand new consultant, like when you signed your agreement and you thought this thing was the best thing since sliced bread. Let's leave this like that so that all those 60 faces you're going to find in January get the whole big Mary Kay opportunity offered to them, and someone who is on fire for this product and opportunity. Because if you're on fire, you're going to find other people. They're going to start following you. I guarantee you. But most importantly, when Mary Kay gave us that dollar bill with Matthew 25:14-30, the most important thing she wanted us to hear is good and faithful servant. And I believe that your dreams are attached to that conversation with Jesus somewhere down the line. Yes. Like, let's not squander the time. There's never going to be a better time than the present. We need you. We are so grateful that you spent this hour with us. Now we can't, I feel like Laura and I just threw the seeds out. I am looking for and praying for that 25% of the soil conditions that produce a harvest, 1,000-fold harvest. Our past is not our future in any way, shape, or form. Thank you for joining us. Laura, do you have anything else to say before we stop this recording?
Yes, get back to showing up, you guys. Show up. Reach out to your director. Find out when her success events are. Directors, I challenge you to start holding at least once or twice a month in person, like huddles. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like huddle at Panera. People need that connection more than ever. I know I'm going back to it with my personal unit as well. So if you're on here, get excited when I get back from leadership. But people need this, what we have. And so do you. Mary Kay said a unit success meeting should be weekly. We need it weekly, because how you're feeling right now, I see all of your comments, how you're feeling right now, you are going to leave this and somebody's going to burst your bubble. Somebody's going to be negative. You're going to go into reality. You have got to stay in this mindset and force yourself to show up. Show up. Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. We're going to make one announcement, and then we are going to head into the best Mary Kay day you've ever had.